All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Grab pen and paper, get ready to take notes. We're going to talk about the real estate market. We're going to talk about what's going on in the market. And depending on where you are, the story may be a little bit different for you, but I'll start with my own story. So it's 2002, I get my real estate license, and within a couple years, we're selling 100 homes a year, and life is good. And then 2006 happened, and all of a sudden, somebody just put on the brakes. And I'm brand new to the real estate market. My only perception of the market is the market's good. The market's always good. The market will always be good. So in 2005, probably the worst time I could have done it, I went out and bought a house, 100% financing. At that time, by the way, they had no doc loans. All you had to do was provide a social security number and just sign on the dotted line. Not only that, but you could borrow up to 120% of the purchase price, which we did in order to put in a pool. And we bought this house, life was good, and boom, the shift happened and prices started dropping. Within 4 years, that house we bought had dropped in value 50% from what we owed on it, and life was not good. Not only that, but it was really hard to find deals. There were fewer homes being sold. In 2006, there were 6.3 million homes sold in the US. It was just fire. It was kind of like if you guys just think back a few years to 2021 when lots of homes were selling and your biggest challenge was finding listings. And remember, we were on this call and we were having conversations about the market. And the biggest challenge in 2021 and 2022 was there was nothing for sale. So we were talking about how do you find sellers when there are no sellers because homes were just selling so fast. And all of a sudden things change. Now, it didn't take me too long back in 2008 and 2009 to realize, wait a minute, this is not a problem. This is actually a good thing because when the market slows down, it becomes an opportunity market. When there are fewer homes being sold, it becomes an opportunity market. Now, the question is, who is it an opportunity for? Well, here's the answer. It's an opportunity market for the real estate agents who develop the skills to have seller conversations, leading with data, who've truly become the local economists of choice, who understand the local market, who are able to look at the market and say, okay, this is what I see. And based on what I see, this is what's going to happen, or this is what's happening. That's forecast. That's the second part of the conversation. And then the third part is the art of persuasion. In order to talk with somebody, in order to be able to share data, explains supply and demand, and so on, and strategic pricing, so that they will make a new decision based on new information that leads to success. It's like Ervin was just sharing. He went on a listing appointment. It was the third time this person is going to be listing their home. And why is that? Well, it's a couple reasons. First of all, they probably didn't meet with somebody like Ervin yet who was able to explain the market the way Ervin did. Here's the other reason. They weren't ready to listen. And you're going to run into that too. I'm going to share some highlights from page 49 of Shift. I'm going to slow down and talk about it. And as always, pay really close attention to what I'm saying because words matter. All right. Fewer leads, fewer showings, increased days on the market. The minute these signs show up, take notice. These are the early warning signals of what most likely is coming next. More inventory and fewer pendings. Raise your hand if you've seen that. More homes for sale, fewer contracts. Yeah, absolutely. Me too. This is the sequence of a shift. Demand slows down, supply builds up. It starts with fewer leads and ends with even less closings. What felt like an unlimited supply of buyers and sellers, pay attention to that. What felt like an unlimited supply of buyers and sellers suddenly feels very limited. Didn't say gradually, he said suddenly. Now, shifts happen slowly and then they happen suddenly. If you could go back 12 months ago, to again, depending on where you live, because the market's different in different locations. Okay. So, like for those of you who are in the Austin, Texas area, I know you've been dealing with this for a while. And those of you who are in the North Carolina, South Carolina market, this is just now starting to show up. And it's been part of what we've been living here in Florida for a while as well. What felt like an unlimited supply of buyers and sellers suddenly feels very limited. Limited abundance quickly shifts to scarcity. But just because the market has moved from more to less doesn't necessarily mean you have to write it down, underline it, highlight it. So important. This is the unfair share conversation. So if we're having a pizza party, I've used this 1,000 times. I'm no, sorry, here we go. If we're having a pizza party and it's Ervin, Parker, Griffin, Clem, Matthew, and a few others, there's 10 of us. And we order two large pizzas, 20 slices, everybody gets two. Pizza driver screws up the delivery and only delivers one pizza, 10 slices, so everybody's getting one slice, right? Wrong. I'm still getting my two. The rest of you can figure it out. That's the unfair share mindset. Just because the market moves from more to less doesn't mean you have to. As leads become fewer, you must recognize the situation and make a more concerted effort to generate them. You can't sit back. You must be more rigorous and resolute in your lead generation than ever before and pay attention to this next part and more so than everyone else. Meaning, this is a competition. Just like it's a competition for the 10 slices of pizza, this is the competition for the fewer deals that are being done. And it's a mindset that I'm going to get my unfair share, not my fair share. Now is the time to shift your lead generation activities into the highest gear possible. It didn't say ramp it up a little bit, put in a little bit more effort. It said the highest gear possible. All right, bunny trail alert. In order to shift your lead generation into the highest gear possible, you're going to have to eliminate the 80%. And this is from 10x is easier than 2x. All right. And the reason 10x is easier than 2x is because in order to go 10x, you have to eliminate everything but the one thing that gets you closer to the goal. And the one thing is lead generation. So that means if you need to lead generate 6 hours a day, then that's what you're going to do. You're going to lead generate 6 hours a day. If that's what it takes to get your unfair share, then that's what you're going to do. I mean, after all, what else are you going to do? If you don't have an appointment with a buyer or seller today, what are you going to do other than lead generate? Right, Shannon? Shannon and I had this conversation yesterday. This is what it takes. By the way, kudos to Shannon, a coaching client who I gave a challenge to that most people don't hit. I said, Shannon, so I'm so proud of you. Minimum standard 10 conversations a day. I show up yesterday. I asked her, how'd you do? And she said, I hit it. I had 10 conversations every day. Do you realize how rare that is? Right? So what do you think we do next? We ramp it up because until you start meeting with buyers and sellers, what else are you going to do? It's the highest gear possible. It's not a little more, it's a lot more. But that doesn't mean I'm working more hours. It doesn't mean that I'm working harder. It means that I'm focusing on the things that matter most and I'm ignoring everything else. Make sure you guys get that. The cause and challenge of a shift is simply one word: motivation. Write it down. The cause and challenge of a shift is simply one word: motivation. When a market has shifted, what really has happened is that buyer and seller motivation has changed. Regardless of the economic causes or driving forces behind the shift, your market only shifts because the motive and rationale behind buying and selling has shifted. Whenever and wherever economics shift, so does motivation. Where there was once a large quantity of quality leads, there isn't, and the once clear pool feels like a muddy puddle. The number of sellable leads has decreased dramatically, and the reason is motivation. It's almost okay. This is really important, guys. I really want you to get this. It's almost as if the buying and selling of the past sellers market has borrowed against the buyers and sellers of this market. So let me explain that for a moment. 2021, 2022, the market's going good. You could buy a home with high expectations that the value of that home is going to increase. You know that your home has hit a market value that's higher than it has been in more than 10 years. All right. So if you owned a home in 2021, that home was worth more at that point than it was at any point in the prior 10 years. Great time to sell. Great time to sell. I'm going to take advantage of this market and I'm going to sell and I'm going to cash in on a great market. I wasn't planning on selling, but I'm going to sell because the market's going so well. So we have buyers and sellers who are buying and selling because the market is at its peak. Those same buyers and sellers would have been selling and buying right now, but they're not because they bought 3, 4 years ago. So there were deals that were going to be done right now that were done 3 or 4 years ago, where the buyers and sellers had both personal reasons and positive market expectations as dual motivators. They now just have their personal reasons. So who's buying and selling right now? People who have to. That's it. People who are buying and selling right now are buying and selling because they have to. Fewer people pass the clear-cut motivation test of being able, ready, and willing. Your job is to find the motivated. Now, in order to find the motivated, you're going to have more conversations. You're going to have to make more calls. You're going to have to work with more effort in order to find the motivated, in order to find people who are ready, willing, and able to buy. Here's one other thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to you guys and going to ask questions. Give me ahas and tell me what you heard. So, how many of you are using an ISA or you have someone who is a part of your organization if you have a team that is making calls for you? Okay, I'm not seeing a lot of hands. That's good. When a market shifts, the best player on the team is you, takes over lead generation. If you have somebody doing lead generation for you, take the job back. Nobody is going to be more motivated to find motivated buyers and sellers than you are. Now is the time for you not only to shift into the highest gear possible, but now is the time to take the number one job in real estate, which is lead generation, back. All right, raise your hands. Talk to me. Go, Michael.
Yeah, so I think this is a great conversation. And yeah, people aren't moving just because. They're not making lateral moves, not moving to from a one story to a two story just because.
Mm,
Maybe, right? So why? Need. I broke my knee. I'm old. I have arthritis. I gotta have a one story. That's a need. And the other thing is write that down. Uh, ready, willing, able. I like to change that so that it's really in front of you. And I say raw, ready, able, willing.
mm,
Only talk to people who are raw,
mm.
right? They're ready. They have a need. They are able, they're financially able to make this happen. And they're willing to do what is necessary to sell their home, to buy a home. And if you're not talking to those people, nurture them, but focus only on the raw individuals right now.
That's good stuff. Coach Michael Trelongo, thank you. By the way, every single one of you should answer the following three questions. What does ready mean? What does it look like? What does able mean? What does it look like? What does willing mean? What does it look like? For a seller to be willing, they have to be willing to price their home to beat the competition, even if it means they're going to get significantly less for their home than they thought they were going to, than they want to get. You have to, even if a seller is going to lose money, the question is, are you going to lose less money today or less money 2 years from now? If you're waiting for the market to get better so that you don't lose money, is it possible you're losing less money in 2 years than you are today? Are you willing to lose money today so that you don't lose more 2 years from now?
Mhm. Mhm.
Talk to me, Angela.
Like you were in my head because I sat up late last night into this morning focusing on this. I'm like, this is where we have to turn to now. This is what you have to do. And I'm just going through trying to tick off everything. How am I getting more leads? Where my direction is going? And I'm like, wow, you hit the nail on the head.
That's how it works. That's how it works. Good stuff, Angela. Talk to me, Brian Copeland.
I, I think this entire conversation can be summed up to the person that asks the most questions wins, right? The person who's asking the most questions for more referrals, the person who's asking the toughest questions to clients to finding out if they are raw, right? Um, and it reminds me so much of what we practice every day and what you continually to train us on, which is ask the right questions and ask tough questions to make sure there's alignment.
That's right. That's right. You know, when I'm talking to real estate agents and I ask, where's business come from? Referrals. And then I ask, tell me more about that. And I hear, well, people just call me. My first thought is, you're in trouble. You're in trouble because when the market shifts, the phone's going to stop ringing. What are you going to do when the phone stops ringing? If you're looking for the answer, pick up the phone and call people. Stop waiting for people to call you. Pick up the phone and talk to your sphere of influence. Start building relationships again. Start pouring value into people and get rid of those limiting beliefs that people will call you if they're going to buy or sell, or they know somebody who's going to buy or sell. No, they won't. You have to call them. You have to ask them, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home? Who do you know that's thinking of buying a home? Talk to
No
me,
words.
Larry. Larry's got his hand up. I love that, Larry. I'm glad I caught you out of my peripheral. By the way, anybody, if you're trying to jump in here and you're not finding that little hand down there, which is in the react button, just so you know, just take yourself off mute and yell at me. But talk to me, Larry.
Yes, good morning. What are your thoughts on paying for leads, especially the ones that you pay at closing? And do you
Uh,
have any recommendations?
yeah, lead with revenue. Don't spend money until you're making money. Play green light, red light, which means if you're going to buy leads, spend a little bit of money and then stop. Now it's red light until you start seeing a return on the money invested. And then when you see a return on the money invested, and I'm looking for at least a 4-time return, by the way, not 2 to 1, not 1 to 1, but 4 to 1, then I can spend a little bit more money. And I know I'm not answering your question the way you wanted me to, by the way. And the best way to find business is get on the phone and call people. So what are my feelings about paid leads?
Yeah,
I don't know. I never did. So I always ran a prospecting based business, and then it became a prospecting based business with repeat and referral deals.
yeah, that's how we do it. But I was just looking in times of in situations where the leads are drying up.
Yeah.
Like you said, you double and triple your efforts, and I agree. But I
Yeah.
was just looking at in addition to. if that would work. And if you're dealing specifically with pay at closing leads,
Yeah.
you're trying to do that and make sure that there is a return before you pay.
Yeah. And honestly, Larry, is again, I know I'm not answering the question you wanted me to, but I know Zillow has a program where you could pay a closing rate. There's others, and there are agents who are very successful with that. I've got agents on my team that are. Um, if you're gonna do it, start small and hold it accountable until you spend more. That's my advice. Let's go, Parker.
Yeah, I was just going to add to Larry. I'm on a Zillow Flex team, and yes, you can get some good leads, you can make some sales, but you can also get a lot of tire kickers. People, it doesn't cost them anything to click that button, like tour this home today. Absolutely no skin in the game, no pre-qualification, and it can end up wasting a lot of your time. And I'm actually in a process of reevaluating whether I want to continue with that. So
Yep. There you go. Great
I
answer,
guess the
Parker.
best way to put it is like every hour I'm working with an unqualified Zillow lead is an hour I'm not generating my own leads.
There you go. Good answer. Talk to me, Joe Grant.
Hey Larry, reach out to the loan officers that you work with. So I'm an affiliate with Penny Mac. I'm an affiliate with Chase. But long story short on it is if you're going to get those deals, you're giving away 40 to 50% of the revenue off of it.
That's right.
So once you get that deal and you're able to close them, you need to have an SOI plan where you're calling them every quarter and asking them, hey, it was great working with you, Larry, and I would love to help your family and friends purchase their next home the same way I did yours. Who do you know that's looking to buy or sell? Because you need to turn that investment of your time for less revenue than you normally make into reoccurring revenue by building that SOI off of that transaction.
Great stuff. I love this group. I love the way you help each other out. I should just shut up and let you guys answer the question and not me. I should have said, I'm not the best person for this question. Who is? So, Larry, forget everything I said. Just pay attention to what they said. All right, Brian Copeland, talk to me.
Hey, John, whenever I talk to agents that are looking for business, one thing I always ask them is, have they called and video message every single contact in their phone?
That's right.
I mean, we always look elsewhere and go, where can we go pay and where can we go find random people? Like they're the magic pill. And we have so many contacts in our phone that are in there for a reason. And until you've gone through that, I wouldn't go pay one penny somewhere else.
There you go. Good stuff. Love that. Talk to me, Karen.
Good morning, everyone. It's funny. I come in here and John, to hear you say you're not going to say anything and let us kind of do it. No, because you know how you have a little angel on your shoulder and you have a little double. Well, my double is now you. Okay. You're in my ear when I want to be distracted and go watch TV. Something says lead generation, lead generation. That's what you should be doing. Recently, my company, Caldwell Banker, merged with Compass, and they sent out this survey saying, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Who do you want to coach with? Brian Buffini, and they named a few other people that had an other. I was like, John Dietz, and that's how I left it.
Karen, I love that. Thank you so much. They're probably thinking, who the hell is John Dietz? So that's good stuff. All right, I've got 9:31. I don't think we can end on anything better than that. Anyways, uh, y'all make it a great day. Stay warm wherever you're at. Holy cow, if it's cold in Florida, is there any place in the United States that it's warm right now? Any place? I don't know. It's cold here.
Hey, we're 33 in Virginia. It's a heat wave.
Yeah.
We're freezing in NC.
All right. You guys make it a great day.
If this helped, hit like and subscribe for practical real estate coaching with Coach John Dietz Coaching.